It is a very quiet start to the weekend across mid-Michigan. Satellite and radar just showing some very thin high-level clouds off to our north over in portions of Gratiot County. Also that cloud cover extending over towards Saginaw and Flint as well. Temperature-wise, still incredibly warm, 69 degrees in Jackson and Marshall, 72 for our current temperature in Lansing and Howell. We're at 73 degrees over in St. John's. I still have a lot of sunshine in the forecast as we go throughout the rest of the day, but of course the main focus, not only today, but also for tomorrow, is going to be on the incredibly hot and humid conditions that we are going to have to deal with. 6 News This Morning starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News This Morning.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan. Thank you for waking up with us. It's Saturday, August 9th. I'm Karina Prieto, and we're here for you now with this morning's top stories. Construction work on the stretch of I-94 in Jackson has been paused after multiple crashes involving semi-trucks. 6 News spoke to authorities about what they're doing to make sure that this section of the road is safer, and Zach Prees is here for you now in studio to break it all down. Zach?
Karina, the crashes happened earlier this week, and now the Michigan Department of Transportation is taking matters into its own hands, trying to make sure that this doesn't happen once again. Now, the crashes happened between the Cooper and Elm exits, prompting MDOT officials to say that people simply need to just hit the brakes. They worry that reckless drivers are putting construction workers and fellow drivers at risk. Because of these concerns, construction has actually been delayed until tomorrow morning. They're hoping to find a solution where construction can continue and accidents can stop. Officials say drivers have to slow down.
Days when we tried to set up that work zone, after we got that lane closure implemented and started doing it, we had crashes occur in that right in the work zone when drivers weren't slowing down, weren't following the signs when they were getting into that construction work zone.
Now, MDOT says drivers need to be polite, slowing down and allowing others to merge when needed. They say they're actually asking the state police to monitor the area more than usual to try to discourage people from speeding. Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Zach. Last night, hundreds gathered on the lawn of the state capitol building to show their support for people who say their family members were taken away by ICE. 6 News reporter Delaney Rogers was at the rally, and she's here for you now with the details.
Families belong together, a message that supporters at this rally want to promote.
Trying to show them that their community is behind them and that we're here for them. They're not alone during this time.
The Lansing Capitol filled with people to show their support for the Hmong community, like supporter Olivier Stroud.
We have multiple members of our community who have been taken away by ICE. They were from Detroit. They were Hmong Chinese members.
Stroud says that on July 30th, 15 people who were part of the Hmong ethnic group with roots in Southeast Asia and China were detained by ICE after being asked to come to an in-person interview.
They showed up to an appointment and were tricked and kidnapped. That's the reality of the situation.
Those at this rally feel this is targeted.
Without any process, any nature, just because they look different and they're Asian, because the man has targeted Asians.
State Representative Emily Devendorf agrees and says that the Hmong individuals detained are now at risk of being sent places they are unfamiliar with.
We are taking our refugee neighbors from their homes and their workplaces, and we are putting them on track to be sent back to countries and homes that they have never known.
The rally also offered an outlet for people who are part of the Hmong community, like Boon Yang, to demand those who were wrongfully detained be returned.
The Hmong people, we are refugees from Laos and Thailand. We're here because we support the United States. We fight side by side with the United States.
Those at this rally not only hope to raise awareness for those who they say were detained, but bring more attention to ICE raids happening right here in mid-Michigan.
But this is not just a California or an LA issue. This is happening here. It's the reality.
Well, thank you, Delaney. In Traverse City, Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed an executive directive yesterday in retaliation of Trump's Big Beautiful Bill. The directive tasks the Department of Insurance and Financial Services to support access to affordable health insurance for Michiganders. Now, Governor Whitmer says, quote, the Republican budget bill will raise the price of health insurance, forcing American families to lose out on thousands of dollars every single year. She also specifically wants the State Department to educate Michiganders on what they'll need to do to keep or receive health insurance during the Affordable Care Act open enrollment period, which is November 1st, 2025 through January 15th of 2026. Well, police are investigating what led a gunman to open fire at the entrance of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention campus in Atlanta, Georgia. A police officer and the gunman are now both dead. Christian Benavides is here for you now with the latest.
The first calls of shots fired to 911 came in just before 5 p.m. Friday. Officials say a suspected gunman opened fire at the entrance of the campus for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, killing a DeKalb County police officer, 33-year-old David Rose, who was also a Marine Corps veteran. After opening fire at the CDC, officials say the gunman went inside a nearby drugstore.
Officers could still hear gunfire occurring inside the CVS drugstore that is right there at the intersections. Officers moved quickly to attempt to find the shooter and to neutralize the threat to the community. We later found the shooter on the second floor of the CVS. He had been struck by gunfire. We do not know at this time whether that was from officers or if it was self-inflicted.
CDC officials say he struck 4 buildings on campus. Nearby Emory University sent an alert to its community, warning of an active shooter. The message read, "Run, hide, fight."
I heard what I at first thought was maybe construction, people doing roofing work, but the reports just kept coming, and I kind of grew up around guns, and you figure out pretty quickly that this is not a hammer that you're listening to.
No one else was injured by gunfire. The officer leaves behind a wife and 3 children. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Well, police have not yet released a motive. In a statement, the head of the CDC says the agency was heartbroken by the attack and praised the police officer who was killed.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We're in the beginning of August across mid-Michigan, so of course we're talking about more heat and humidity across the entire region, not only as we go throughout the rest of our Saturday, also still going to be incredibly hot and humid for our Sunday and even Monday across the area. Temperatures outside right now still really impressive, low 70s in places like St. John's, Owasso, and Lansing. We're at 69 degrees in Jackson and Marshall, 68 for our current temperature over in Charlotte. Highs for today, 10 degrees above average. We're going to make it up to 91 degrees across mid-Michigan. We have a lot of sunshine in the forecast as well, so not only making sure that we're taking frequent breaks and staying hydrated, but making sure we're applying that sunscreen as well. Because of the humidity, we have to factor that in, and it is going to feel a lot warmer across mid-Michigan as a result. Notice by the time we get into this afternoon and evening, our feels like temperatures or heat indices across mid-Michigan are going to be reaching into the mid to upper 90s. So at that point in time, we need to not only be mindful of how we are feeling as we go throughout the weekend, but also keeping our pets in mind as well. And when temperatures are hitting 90 degrees and we have this much sun in the forecast, well, simply put, pavement and concrete can heat up incredibly quickly. Concrete can get as high as 115 degrees, asphalt 130. At that point in time, their paws can burn in less than a minute. So again, making sure that we are mindful and keeping our pets safe as well.
That's always a good reminder because, you know, I feel like we're always focusing on, the sunscreen, the sunglasses, all those things, the water, but the little pets, they need it too.
Yeah, the little pets, and of course, with temperatures like these on the concrete and asphalt, maybe your kiddos shouldn't be running around barefoot either.
Right. Well, thank you, Kendall. And coming up after the break, we have new developments on the manhunt in Montana as the suspect is now in custody. The time is 6:09. Thank you so much for watching 6 News This Morning.